Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, gratefully covering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, and drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with anybody you think might get something out of it. Other than that, how we all doing today, guys? Hope everybody's having a good day. I had a fantastic day. It was a very busy day, but a great day. One of the things I've been kind of alluding to lately is the stuff I've been doing to clear up the wreckage of my past. I've satisfied all the classes and all my obligations, but I've been waiting for, it's out of two states, Rhode Island and Massachusetts, so I've been waiting for Rhode Island to put all the credit in the books. I got through to them this morning. It wasn't done yet, but because I was being kind and I was very courteous, the woman remembered me, and she actually took my phone number because it's impossible to get through to them. And she went and searched down my paperwork, got it in the computer for me, called me back, and then I was able to pay the final reinstatement fee there. They immediately emailed me over all my documentation. So I kicked ass, got the rest of my work done, went to the Massachusetts registry, uploaded all my documents, and next step is to get a hearings officer date with them, and that's usually about a month out. So I've been preparing myself for that eventuality, but I got in there tonight, uploaded all my documents, and they immediately put me in and said, answer your phone in the next 72 hours. Your hearing's scheduled, and they don't really give you a time. They just call you sometime in the next 2 to 3 days. Boom, like I'm here. I left there just in shock today. Like I'm so happy. I still have work to be done, but I've done everything I can, and instead of having to wait another month for a hearing date, which I was anticipating, it's going to be in the next couple of days, and I can take the next steps and be fully reinstated and be in just open up my life to full freedom. It's literally just, I'll share the whole story when it's done, but it's shocking, and it's a feeling, a surreal feeling I have not felt in as long as I can remember. It feels really good, guys, so I'm super excited today. Still work to be done, so I'm not, celebrating anything wild, but just seeing what's possible when we just, like I suggest every day, just do the best you can with what you have. Pay attention to everything. Start from, things that are overwhelming. Just do what you can in the moment and keep stacking them. And I can't believe where I've gotten with it. And that feels absolutely amazing today, guys. Like, I'm so happy today. I'm almost giddy today. The reading, we're going to go up. And it segues right in, because the reason I'm able to do this is because I've found the best of myself. And I found all of myself. And I show up for everything. And I show up the same person every day. Just honest, real energy, trying to look out for others, but putting my needs first. I've found integrity, and I'm starting to really understand the meaning of integrity, and I'm living the meaning of integrity, and not to pat myself on the back, but I'm proud of who I'm becoming, and integrity is a big part of that, and that's what the spiritual principle of the day is from Narcotics Anonymous: showing up with integrity. And it's something I'm learning to do, and boy does it feel good, and it's rewarding. Not always easy. It takes that internal work, the shadow work, the introspection, but like, if you want to build a life, live with integrity. So showing up with integrity. Integrity is a state of being fully integrated. Our actions, our thinking, our feeling, our ideals, and our values all match up. Most of us think of having integrity as being honest and reliable, as keeping our word. Well, while this is certainly true, integrity has a more deeper and more nuanced meaning that we don't always consider. Being whole, being wholly ourselves, being our whole selves at any given moment, no matter whose presence we are in. As active addicts, we often demonstrated a lack of integrity. We were not dependable, trustworthy, or responsible, and we weren't whole. We omitted parts of the truth and parts of ourselves. I was like a three-legged table, a member wrote. Yeah, I could stand, but don't try leaning on me. We compartmentalized our existence. We behaved in certain ways with some, but not that way with others. And we led double and then sometimes multiple lives. These waves of being can follow us into recovery. How we act and appear on the outside does not always match up to who we are or strive to be on the inside. It is unlikely our feelings will match up with our ideals all of the time. This friction can be productive. We learn to take actions of love even when we don't necessarily feel the love. For instance, we can treat a member we don't like with kindness and respect. We can serve alongside of somebody even if we sometimes fantasize about pushing them into a pool of sharks. We don't act on it. Other times, our feelings are less reactive. They might match our conscience rather than our defects. In those cases, it may be necessary and right to address somebody else's behavior. Integrity guides our decisions in how we express ourselves in those moments. It allows us to risk others' disappointment and anger if we're being true. That's being true to ourselves. That's honesty and reliability. That's love. And the affirmation is just for today. I will practice integrity by reliably being all I am, ensuring my actions reflect what's inside of me, not necessarily how I'm feeling. And guys, that's a lot to digest, but it's absolutely true. Basically, what it's saying is when we're living with integrity, we're acting as our better selves. It doesn't mean we're perfect. It doesn't mean we don't harbor resentments and have negative feelings, but we don't have to act on them when it's not appropriate, is what integrity means to me. Just like this says, there are people that come into the meetings that I'd like to strangle because they're as fake as can be and they're not working a program, and they frankly disrespect the meetings at times. But it's not my place. So long as they say they have a desire, then they have every right to be there, and I can only hope that they get better. I'm not ever going to make somebody feel like they don't deserve to be there, because that's not my place, and that's against everything recovery. Like, that could cost somebody's life, cost somebody their life, and you can't do that. It doesn't mean I have to condone what they're doing, and doesn't mean I'm going to co-sign what they're doing. And if they confront me on it, and I will gently and kindly bring truth, and I've done so, and I've seen people storm out of the meeting, and I'm like, okay, don't ask me to co-sign your bullshit. Like, I'm here to be real. And if I start being over, now I'm always going to be kind and gentle with my delivery as much as possible, but when someone's being flat out disrespectful, and particularly if I'm running the meeting, then I've got to be stern, and everybody knows that. And I, typically I'll go up and say to the person I would say, I didn't mean to, shush you like that, but you were interrupting the meeting, and like, nope, hey, I get it, and you were, much kinder than you needed to be about it. That's integrity. I feel good about that today. But if somebody is just being ridiculous and they bring it to me, then I'm not going to co-sign that. I'll say, no, listen, you need to look at what you're doing. I mean, maybe if you just X, Y, and Z, try this, you might get a better result. And then I'm always happy to hear that. That's okay. I have to be true to myself, and I got to make sure that I'm doing so the same way with everybody. Just because one person I know is fake, he might be trying today, so I'm going to give him honest advice, and I'm going to do so kindly. I still shake his hand and give him a hug and welcome him in, but I'm not going to invite him out to dinner with me afterwards, and that's perfectly okay, and I've had that happen, and I just, nope, I'm good, and I walk away. But again, when it comes into the meeting place, I'm going to treat that person with kindness and respect, because that's the decorum of the meeting, of a recovery meeting. I don't ever want to be the person that makes somebody feel, regardless how fake I may feel they're being. For all I know, something might have changed last night, and they might come at it fully hearted today and give it an honest shot. And like we always say, you keep coming, because hopefully eventually you'll get it, right? But it is that fine line of not making somebody feel less than about themselves, but at the same time being honest and not co-signing their bullshit and giving them, enabling them to continue doing stupid things, makes me feel good about myself. And it's not always easy to find that happy medium, but I'm finding it by listening to others, discussing with my sponsor. Doing these videos for me is amazing, because I get a spiritual principle or a topic of a lesson to discuss, to think about, to digest, to talk about on video. And then when that situation comes up, like, I've already primed my brain on how, this is like what I was talking about in the video. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it. And as I've done so for, well over 500 consecutive videos now, I've noticed the differences in my life, and I bring my best self to bear. Not perfectly, but wherever possible. Today was a beautiful example of that. Dealing with the DMV, this has taken me, I'm coming up on a year now. And they can be frustrating, and sometimes they're And I understand it. They got a shit job. They're dealing with a million miserable people all day. So I always lead with kindness, and not trying to get a special favor, but just because I would just want, I don't want to add to the misery, and I want things to go as smooth as possible, because it's, I'm the one that needs something from them. They don't need anything from me. And this morning, it just so happens that this is about the third time I've had to call Rhode Island to see if my paperwork was done yet, and I'm always my kind, upbeat self. And this is over the course of 3 or 4 months, and it's the same woman that ends up answering every time. So the woman, Kathy, boom, as soon as I called this morning, she's like, Mr. Kelly, I recognize your voice now. You're always so happy. You're always so sweet. And I'm like, oh, good, Mike, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day. And she asked, what can we do for you today? I said, well, it's been 2 weeks since I finished my course, so it should be in the books. I want to pay my reinstatement and get reinstated so I can move on to Massachusetts. And she said, oh my God, 2 weeks? Yes, absolutely. And she looked it up and it wasn't there. And boom, like anywhere else, even with her last time, she's like, we'll try again later. But she's like, no, because she remembered me for being kind. She took my phone number, took it upon herself to go find the woman that logs it in the computer, verify that I had finished my class, and put it in the computer, and then called me back on my cell phone and allowed me to make my payment over the phone, and then let me know what the next steps were, that they would go run my card, and when it was all said and done, they would email me the official reinstatement notice. And she told me to wait a couple hours for that, and I should have it in my email. And boom, sure enough, there it was. So as I finished up my work, I'm like, oh my God, like, I've been trying for 29 years to get this piece of paper. So I came home to the office and I printed it out. And I'm like, well, what can I do now? I said, well, I need to schedule Massachusetts. So I went directly to the Boston, the main registry in Boston. And of course, I get there, I don't have all my paperwork, because I'm expecting, like last time, that I'll go in, they'll give me a piece of paper, I'll come home, fill it out online to schedule my appointment. But no, they're caught up. So they're like, we're giving you we're booking your appointment right now. The guy says to me, you'll have your phone call in the next 72 hours. Make sure you answer every call. It might come up private. And I'm like, well, how do I upload my documents? And he's like, well, give them to me. I'll scan them in. I didn't have them all. Well, it was 2 o'clock. Fortunately, I had an early day, so I drove back home, went right back to the registry and uploaded all my documents. Same thing, because I was kind and I wasn't being a jerk about things. Like, okay, I asked him what time I could get there to. He told me 4 o'clock. When I showed back up, the kid immediately recognized me, pulled me ahead in the line. They took all my documents, they scanned everything in, and then they took the time to go over with me all the requirements and make sure that, according to their computers, everything's satisfied. So now I was hoping and praying that by the end of June I might have this done. This should be done in the next 72 hours. Because I've been diligent, I've acted with integrity, and even when I'm stressed out and things are overwhelming, I've shown up as my best self, and it's been fast track. And again, it doesn't hurt that as soon as I went through this morning, as I was heading to the next job, God, thank you so much. I said a prayer and just thank God. God, I've been trying to do this for so long. As soon as I align myself with you, things are getting done. You're showing me the way. Please continue to guide me, and just know how grateful I am. And then boom, like what I expect to take next month is done. Maybe it's coincidence, but you know what? All I know is the more things I bring things up in prayer, honestly, and not asking for special favors, but just asking for God's guidance and thanking Him for what He's done for me, I end up with miraculous results, unexpectedly good results over and over again. And I'm gonna keep doing it. Like, it shows what the biggest difference is. I've gotten this stuff done because I show up the same person every day, positive, with a positive outlook, not asking for special favors, considering somebody else's point of view. Oh, these poor people answer phones, but people probably shit on them all day. Let me bring some kindness and just see if I can, uplift them a little bit, right? And all of a sudden, things are getting done, guys. And this is the prime example, because it's something that's incredibly important to me. This is going to give me freedom to travel, freedom to expand my business, freedom to buy vehicles, freedom to put my Harley Davidson on the road and ride it. Like, there's so much freedom attached to this, and it's the wreckage of my past. Nobody did this to me. I did this to myself. And in any other attempt, I've literally been trying for 29 years. Well, there was a 10-year I couldn't do it. So literally about 19 years, I've been actively trying when I do, and it just was so overwhelming, and I didn't have the financial resources. and I didn't have the mental acuity to even deal with it, and even like there was so many steps involved and just so much overwhelmingness. But no, since I got in recovery and I follow the program and I practice these principles in all of my affairs, I've just taken it one step at a time and not worried about the overwhelm and not worried about this and not worried about that, and just did what I could in that moment. And it didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen on my time frame. But here we are, and everything's in the books, in the computers. I've got paperwork from one of the states that say you are reinstated. Like, I didn't think I'd ever see that, guys, and I see that today, and it's beautiful. But it's because I've learned a new way of life, and I didn't have to. The beauty of it, guys, I didn't have to invent all this stuff. All I had to do was find out how I could apply it to my life, and I choose to apply it to as many areas of my life as I can. And then all these different areas of my life have grown so beautifully. I love sitting here and thinking about when I started and when I come out of recovery, and just the changes that have manifested in my life, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, in my physical body. Like, I am by far the best of me that I've ever been, and that's because I've started to develop integrity in my life, and I carry that with me everywhere I go, and it is paying off in ways that I never dreamed possible. I can't remember the last time I was giddy. Like, I was so happy seeing this stuff get done, and then I was like, okay, I got responsibilities, so I went and took care of my responsibilities. But the minute that I realized I was done early, I'm like, what can I do? Well, let's see if I can get the next step going. And boom, now I'm just waiting on that phone call. Guys, life is good today because I follow the principles of recovery, and I practice these principles in all of my affairs. Live with integrity, guys. It will guide you. You're not always going to know, well, you're saying you put somebody in their place, but be kind to somebody. When you practice integrity, you will know the difference. You'll know when it's time to be kind, and you'll know when it's time to be honest and give somebody a hard truth. And you'll know because you'll understand what your motives are. And when your motives are integrity, you'll feel it, and you'll know it, and you'll love it, because it's just, every one of us likes feeling good about who we are. Never mind, it's not about the shiny trinkets and the new clothes, but it's the person who you are when you lay your head down on the pillow at night. I've never felt so much self-respect, so much sense of self-worth, so much feeling like I have every right and I have value and I've got something to give and I can make a difference, and I go out and do so every day. So I come home and I feel good about myself every day. Like, people wonder why I'm so upbeat and positive. Like, I'm living a positive life. How else would I feel about it? Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.